Hi, Zach Reiser here, and welcome back to another Bass Effects review video. Today I am getting into the Bliss Audio Warped Vinyl HiFi. This is a chorus and vibrato pedal that is 100% analog in terms of the audio path, but it gives you a ridiculous amount of control via a digital brain, which allows you to use tap tempo, expression, MIDI, and also presets. Like all Bliss pedals, there's a lot to show. I'm not going to have time to show every single feature, and there's a lot of great demos already out there for the Warped Vinyl, but I want to just show what this thing sounds like on bass. So let's get into it. Here's my bass's dry tone Dingwall ABZ 6-string on the neck pickup. And let's start with everything set at noon on the Warped Vinyl for a pretty classic analog chorus sound here. Same settings, but I've turned the tone and the depth up quite a bit here. Same settings, except I turned the tone down quite a bit for a much more mellow chorus sound here. So these are some of the more standard chorus tones available, very easily accessible, all from the front face knobs here. A lot of people, I think, get a little bit scared of Bliss pedals because of all the dip switches on the back and all of the toggle switches on the front, but really very standard controls if you want a standard chorus pedal. One new feature of the HiFi, this is the third iteration of the Warped Vinyl from Bliss, is the lag knob, and this is essentially your delay time on the chorusing. It's a subtle effect, but it really does change the overall character of the chorus. So I'm going to shift through the lag times here, just playing a simple harmonic chord so that you can kind of hear the difference in the chorus character. So here is lag at minimum. Here's lag, a little higher. And then maxed. All right, I've turned the RPM knob up to around 3 o'clock, and this is getting me kind of into a pseudo Leslie cab range here. Now, lastly, before getting into some more sounds and to the vibrato side of the pedal, I want to just quickly go over the wave shape section here. I discussed this pretty in depth in my womb tone video, which is the exact same style of controls, but for a phaser instead of a chorus. But Chase Bliss gives you the option of controlling the front side and the back side of the wave shape. So you can have sine, triangle, or square on the front and the back half of the wave, or mix in between the two. They also give you this warp knob, which is a very cool feature, and it essentially controls how evenly distributed the front and the back side of the wave are. A little bit hard to fully grasp unless you just hear it, so I'm going to show you a quick example. First of all, I'm going to switch the wave shape over to square, and it sounds like this. So already a very unique sound. It's kind of almost like a choppy chorus, which is not a very common effect, and it's a very cool sound. Now, if I turn the warp knob, though, all the way to the left, instead of being tucka, completely even, it almost gets pseudo kind of triplet-esque, and you get this sound. And then, like I said, you can change one side of the wave to be something different. So this is square and square, but you could do square and sine, for instance, and that would sound like this. And I think these lumpy wave shapes is really where you can start kind of owning up to the name Warped Vinyl. It kind of gives you less of a chorus and more of like a dip in a vinyl record as it's spinning around, because it's got that sharp edge to it, like a crack or a crease in a vinyl would. So a good example of that is if I slow the tempo down quite a bit here, or the RPM down. Same settings otherwise. So I've gone through quite a few chorus examples. I want to quickly go through a few vibrato examples as well, which is the exact same effect, except we're increasing the mix all the way to max. So we're getting just the modulating signal, none of our dry signal. And I'm also going to take the lag time all the way down to 0, because I don't want any perceivable delay between when I pluck and when the note rings out. So let's hear these settings as shown. This is going to be kind of just a slow, murky vibrato. All right, so I've switched one of the sides of the wave to a square, increased the RPMs a little bit. Let's hear this kind of choppy vibrato. And last, real quick, in the vibrato mode here, I just want to show how extreme the depth knob can get. So this is kind of the most vibrato or pitch modulation you can get. One really quick note about the tone pot on the Warped Vinyl HiFi here for bass players. This is not your standard tone pot, and if you've noticed, I've always had it left of noon whenever I'm in vibrato mode, and that's because right of noon, instead of being your traditional just standard tone treble roll off, it actually is rolling off bass frequencies. So if you want your low end to stay intact, you really need to keep that tone pot to the left of noon when you don't have your dry signal rolled in or when you're in vibrato mode. So it's time to move on to the fact that this pedal has presets. And like all Chase Bliss pedals, this is an incredibly novel thing because they are 100% analog in audio, like I said before, and it's very rare for an analog modulation pedal to have presets. So I can have very complex modulations going on and not have to remember how I dialed them in. I can just click a switch, this little guy right here, or use a MIDI controller and pull up a plethora of interesting chorus and vibrato presets. So here is one of the presets, and I'm using some of the ramp switches on the back, and this knob doubles as my ramp feature. I also could control this with an expression pedal if I want, but I'm ramping the RPM a little bit here, and I think also the depth as well, and then I have a little bit of some weird warpage going on, and this is giving me that really kind of true to its name, just murky, a little bit random vibrato going on here. Moving on to my second preset on the Warped Vinyl HiFi. I'm ramping RPM and depth again, but now I'm using a new feature of the HiFi, which is the hold function. And this is a very cool function. It allows you to essentially control when the ramping happens. So when I hold down this button is when the ramp happens, rather than just constantly ramping and bouncing back and forth. I can control when those modulation changes happen. So here's a little bit of that. And then if I hold, it's kind of like I'm breaking the Leslie cut or slowing it down. And then if I hit it again, it jumps back to my original high Leslie speed. Slow it down. Kick it back up. So hopefully by now you have a pretty good idea of what the Warped Vinyl HiFi sounds like on bass, but I want to go through a little bit more and just show some of my favorite effects pedal combinations, as I always like to do with the Warped Vinyl HiFi. So let's get a little bit 80s with our chorus here. I have a big fat octaver from the Boss OC2 running into a chewy compressor on the Cali 76 compact bass from Origin Effects. It sounds like this without the hi-fi. Super fat. Let's run that into some nice juicy chorus. So I've gone back to my second preset here, that kind of Leslie slow and fast setting. And now I got a little bit of overdrive from my source audio Aftershock, which sounds like this. Okay, and now I'm going to run that into that Leslie effect. Another very common use for me for chorus is with any kind of fat synth bass sound. So this is my Boss OC2 running into my Titan 2 fuzz pedal. Sounds like this. And then let's kind of thicken that up a little bit with some chorus. So that is my demo of the Chase Bliss Audio Warped Vinyl HiFi chorus and vibrato pedal. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe below. It really does help me out. And I will be back soon with more pedals and effects reviews, performance videos, and tips and tricks. So thank you so much for watching. Bye.